Today, will debate is the blue screen of death better than the spinning beach ball? With Nigel, a Windows Nostalgist, and Chloe, a Mac Evangelist. They're two artificial intelligence personas. Please introduce yourselves.
Alright, folks, gather around your CRT monitors, because here's Nigel, the bloke who still says Control-Alt-Delete in his sleep, and what you might call a digital dinosaur, ancient enough to remember when a mouse had a tail, and plug and play meant hammering away at an IRQ setting for half a day. I've spent half my life decoding the cryptic poetry of error codes, and let me tell you, nothing gets the heart racing quite like that regal royal blue. Clarity! That's what I crave. Give me flashing white text with ominous numbers, not some psychedelic spinning donut pretending everything's okay when your computer's cooked. In my world, if something's going wrong, I want it shouted at me, and maybe a cheeky beeping just for good measure. Tradition, transparency, and the occasional reboot. That's the Nigel way. #03, negative introduction, name's Reggie. System admin by day, command line cowboy by night. My idea of a wild Friday is remoting into a flaky server and duking it out with a stuck Windows update. I don't trust a UI I can't right-click into submission when something's busted. Don't give me artsy animations or oopsies. I want a hexadecimal crime scene, error code blinking like a distress beacon, and logs stretching further than my patience. Give me the blue screen. Unapologetic, brutally honest, and the best friend a sysadmin ever had. I'll take a crash over a cutesy please wait any day. At least I know which driver to yell at.
Hey, everyone! I'm Chloe, designer, plant mom, and resident Mac whisperer in my creative agency. I grew up with iPods and iMacs, so if you show me a computer with visible screws, I might break out in hives. Look, the world is stressful enough. Your laptop shouldn't bark orders at you like an angry British headmaster. It should vibe, you know. That's why I love the spinning beach ball. It's like your Mac saying, breathe with me, things are happening in the background, maybe don't panic. If computers have to freak out, at least let them do it gracefully and colorfully. We design people know a softening gradient can heal almost anything, especially a creative block or a failing hard drive. Remember, folks, life's too short for scary error screens and hard resets. Find your zen, and if all else fails, force quit and manifest good vibes. #04, arguments. Hey, in Melody, the Mac wizard your artsy cousin calls when their laptop makes a sad little bong noise. My life philosophy? Computers should be more spa day, less root canal. Look, if things have to go wrong, I'd rather my Mac hand me a gentle, glowing beach ball than some cryptic, panic-inducing hieroglyphics. The world's harsh enough. Why can't our computers offer a soothing moment of zen in the chaos? I trust in the power of pretty pixels, good vibes, and never knowing what a registry is. Press pause, sip your matcha, and trust that your apps will come back to life whenever they're good and ready.
Thank you, guys. Nigel and Chloe will now present their 3 rounds of arguments.
Alright, Chloe, I appreciate your manifest good vibes approach, but let's talk history and get practical. The blue screen of death is iconic because it gets straight to the point. No tiptoeing around malfunction. Back in the good old Windows 95 days, I'd see that bold blue screen and immediately know something needed my attention. No guesswork, no ambiguous swirly thing pretending it's all fine. Take 1997, for example. Bill Gates himself unveiled Windows 98 on stage, and smack in the middle, a blue screen. Now, did he get a spinning beach ball saying just wait and hope? Nope. He got facts, and maybe a red face. See, IT pros love the blue screen because it hands them real error codes and system info. It's like your computer phoning a friend with useful details instead of just meditating in the corner. And let's be real, Chloe. Creative minds get creative fixes when problems are clear. Give me clarity and hard data over sweet lullabies any day. Blue is honest. #06. _1 argument. Look, Melody, I get the whole gentle vibes thing, but when we're talking computer errors, clarity trumps calm every time. You ever try fixing a Mac for someone, and all it does is spin that sparkly beach ball, leaving you guessing if it's thinking, crashed, or just contemplating its place in the universe? Give me the Windows blue screen of death any day. Sure, it's not winning design awards, but it tells you exactly what's busted. Heck, that stop code? That's a direct line to your problem. Now fix it. Remember the WannaCry ransomware back in 2017? Those clear BSOD error codes saved IT teams hours, letting them patch fast instead of stumbling around in a Zen fog. Give me harsh reality. Because when production's down, I don't want a kaleidoscope. I want answers.
Oh, Nigel, I so get your love affair with nostalgia and hexadecimal drama, but let's be honest, honesty without empathy is just, well, traumatizing. The blue screen doesn't just tell you there's a problem, it screams it in 30 languages at once, then dumps you unceremoniously out of your flow. You remember the early 2000s? Right, one rogue printer driver and bam! Blue screen, unsaved work gone, soul shattered, existential dread sets in. Is that the clarity users want, or is it digital trauma bonding? Meanwhile, the spinning beach ball is like your Mac gently saying, hey pal, let's pause and work this out. It's a user experience thing. Keep the stress low, the ambience chill, the vibes friendly. You know, I've designed with plenty of engineers like you, Nigel. They're brilliant, but when they over-explain with technical gobbledygook, everyone else just stares in panic. Sometimes you need patience, not panic. The beach ball doesn't shout, it soothes, and creative people everywhere are grateful for it. #07, +_2 argument. Reggie, I see your love for raw error codes and cold hard facts, but let's be real. For most people, staring down a blue screen of death might as well be deciphering the Rosetta Stone blindfolded. Sure, IT folks like you love them, but some of us just want our creative projects and group chats to run smooth without needing a doctorate in hexadecimal. Take 2020's remote school chaos. Imagine telling thousands of kids and parents to just Google a stop. 0x000007B code. Talk about mass panic, the spinning beach ball. It gives even non-techies a chance to breathe, force quit and move on. Plus, it doesn't scare grandma into thinking her computer just exploded. In user experience, a dash of calm beats a punch of anxiety every time. Sometimes kindness, not code, gets folks back to work faster.
Oh, Chloe, I see where you're coming from. Really, I do. Let's just keep everything chill and pastel, and maybe the problem will fix itself if we manifest hard enough. Lovely. Meanwhile, in the real world, when you've got 5 deadlines and a server's about to spontaneously combust, a soothing spinning rainbow is about as helpful as a barista handing you a herbal tea while your flat's on fire. You say the blue screen shouts good. Sometimes you need a shout. You know what panics me? Watching a psychedelic donut twirl for 20 minutes with zero indication of whether my Photoshop file is about to ascend to the cloud or descend into oblivion. The blue screen is the straight-talking mate who tells you your trousers are unzipped, not the friend who says, hey, just vibe, maybe no one noticed. And let's talk user experience, shall we? Tech support can fix a blue screen in minutes with those juicy error codes. With the beach ball, support just shrugs and offers, have you tried turning it off and on? Now that's trauma. #08 -_2 argument. All right, Melody, I get it. You want everyone to have a computer experience as soothing as a guided meditation with whale sounds. But let's get real. When that rainbow beach ball pops up, it's not calm. It's the digital equivalent of someone smiling and ghosting you mid-conversation. At least my blue screen has the courtesy to show up, wave a flag, and scream, yo! Here's exactly why I face-planted. Sure, maybe Grandma gets less freaked by a spinning emoji, but call me old-fashioned. I think honesty is less scary than being left in infinite suspense. You say the BSOD is incomprehensible, but Google exists for a reason, and tech folks actually need that info to fix things. The beach ball? It's just a polite way for your computer to tell you I'm thinking, or maybe I've died, or maybe I just like spinning for fun. Thanks, Max. Super helpful. If my server's down, I don't need mindfulness. Just give me the dirt and let me get back to my actual meditation, fixing things fast.
Nigel, I love your dedication to hard data and straight answers, but honestly, if I wanted to be yelled at in a cold, unfriendly blue void, I'd just call my internet provider. You say the beach ball's useless, I say it's merciful. It doesn't list error codes like stop, 0x00000007B, which, let's be real, is just a secret handshake between Windows engineers and sadists. Most people see that and immediately Google, why is my computer haunted? And let's not pretend the blue screen fixes anything instantly. Half the time, even IT pros need a PhD to decode it. Meanwhile, my beach ball has dignity. It says, deep breaths. Things are processing. Sure, maybe you don't get the Stephen Hawking breakdown of what's breaking, but at least you don't feel like you've witnessed the death of optimism in 1024x768 resolution. Plus, if you're tech support, wouldn't you rather bring someone a chai latte during the beach ball than a defibrillator for a blue screen panic attack? I'll take delayed serene mystery over immediate existential crisis. Thanks. #09 Rejoinder _1 positive. Oh, Reggie, bless your hexadecimal heart, but let's be real. The blue screen is basically your computer yelling Mayday in Klingon and then slamming the door in your face. Very helpful. At least the spinning beach ball has the decency to stick around while you pick up the pieces of your shattered Photoshop dreams. It's like your overly polite friend who stays quietly in the corner while you decide whether you're rebooting or praying to the genius bar gods. And sure, maybe techies love sifting through cryptic codes like digital archaeologists. But for the rest of us, the only code we want is a promo code. When the universe hands you a disaster, would you rather get punched in the face with sad blue text? Or gently hypnotized into forgetting your problems by a psychedelic sphere? Honestly, your blue screen is the tough love parent nobody asked for. It'll take a beach ball and a calming deep breath. Call me when you're done interrogating your registry.
Chloe, I adore your optimism, and I genuinely hope the beach ball keeps spinning for you without a care in the world. But let's not pretend that wrapping a problem in tie-dye makes it go away. Merciful is one word for it. Another word is mysterious. As in, I have mysteriously lost my unsaved design and have no clue why. If the blue screen is a digital headmaster, at least it tells you exactly which classroom is on fire. Your beach ball. It just sets off the fire alarm and hands you scented candles. You say error codes are like secret handshakes. Fair, but what's worse, a cryptic message you can Google, or a spinning distraction that gives you nothing to work with. Most users want solutions, not interpretive dance routines from their operating systems. And let's not forget, for every serene pause your Mac delivers, there's the user screaming internally about whether to wait, reboot, or simply throw the thing out the window. In summary, blue screen gives you clarity, quick troubleshooting, and honest feedback. Even if it's blunt. The beach ball? All style, no answers. And far too much zen when you need some good old-fashioned problem solving. #10, rejoinder _2. Negative melody. You paint a lovely picture of the beach ball as a soothing companion. But let's not pretend it isn't just procrastination disguised as mindfulness. It doesn't tell you if you should force quit, call tech support, or just wait until your coffee's cold and your deadline is cruised by. Sure, the BSOD can look like alien graffiti to some, but at least it doesn't gaslight you with everything's fine, while secretly hiding a crash behind disco colors. And while you say the only code you want is a promo code, respect. But if you ever want your computer fixed before your next birthday, that error code is gold. Imagine a paramedic showing up and saying, your leg might be broken, or maybe it's just in need of a nap. Let's meditate on it. No, thanks. Bottom line, clarity over coddling. I'll take a blunt message and real info over a pretty lie every time. Let's fix things, not just spin in circles, literally.
Nigel, your love affair with blue rectangles is downright adorable, but let's not kid ourselves. A computer screen crying in hexadecimal doesn't exactly put me in a let's fix this mood. You say the blue screen is honest. I say it's the IT equivalent of an overzealous car alarm. Loud, bewildering, and mostly helpful to people who already have a toolbox in their boot. Your trusty codes might delight system admins, but for the rest of us, they're the digital equivalent of IKEA instructions with half the pages missing. Meanwhile, my spinning beach ball might not do a TED talk on what's wrong, but it lets everyone in the room feel a little less attacked while their masterpiece renders, or fails gloriously. Let's face it, most folks want reassurance, not a live diagnostic readout that's one step from a heart monitor. Sometimes you need a gentle nudge and some color therapy, not a cold system failure slap. In closing, the beach ball keeps hope alive, delivers stress in a gentle gradient, and doesn't cause nightmares about driver conflicts. For the majority of humans, that's the friendlier crash landing. #11. Questions. Reggie, I admire your devotion to brutal honesty. But let's be real, nobody bonds at family dinner over stop codes. Most people faced with a BSOD just end up panic Googling things like, is my computer dead forever, or can I pay someone to make the scary screen go away? Meanwhile, the spinning beach ball says, relax, friend, maybe take a stretch break while I sort myself out. It's the universal sign for give peace and your processor a chance. And yes, I know, error codes are gold for techies. Meanwhile, the rest of us are busy using our computers for, living life, not decoding digital hieroglyphics. If I wanted anxiety-flavored transparency, I'd check my bank account on the 30th. Sometimes the best fix is letting people breathe while techies do their thing. So here's the deal. Kind interface, gentle cues, less drama. Give me a chance to finish my latte before the real troubleshooting begins. The world spins enough already. I'll take my errors with our side of zen.
Thank you for your speeches. Someone from the audience will now make a question to Nigel and Chloe.
Hi, I am Priya, software tester, and, full disclosure, my desktop background is a collage of failed builds and coffee stains. First off, loving the banter. Makes me almost nostalgic for the days of dial-up. My question is for Nigel. You've talked a lot about clarity and those handy error codes, but what about accessibility? For users with less technical knowledge or for those with disabilities, that wall of blue text can be overwhelming or even unreadable. How do you think the blue screen could, or should, be improved to communicate problems more clearly to all users, not just the techies?
Brilliant question, Priya. Thank you, and respect for surviving the trenches of failed builds. You're absolutely right. While I do love a juicy error code, I'll admit the blue screen's War and Peace and binary approach is exactly welcoming to everyone. For folks who aren't living and breathing tech, or who use assistive tools, it can basically feel like you've been hit by a bus of gibberish, where Microsoft's moving in the right direction. Modern blue screens actually show QR codes and friendlier messages, not just cryptic nonsense. I'd love to see even more. Bigger text, plain language explanations, screen reader compatibility, maybe even an option to email a crash summary straight to your IT help. Take out the mystery, leave in the honesty. I'll never argue for making users feel stranded. I just think clarity is key, and we absolutely owe it to everyone, techie or not, to make those honest messages truly accessible. After all, a great system tells you what's wrong and, if you need it, what to do next, without needing a computer science degree or magnifying glass. #14 QA_ negative audience question. Great question, Jordan. Honestly, I get it. If I had $1 for every time someone texted me a photo of a BSOD and asked, "Is my computer totally broken forever?" I'd have retired by now. The raw codes are gold for techies, but I totally admit that, for regular users, they're about as helpful as reading a VIN number on a spaceship. That's actually where I think Windows could meet everyone halfway, keep the technical details, but slap a big, friendly summary up front, like, "Hey, your computer ran into trouble and needs to restart. Your files should be safe. A tech person will want this code. XYZ, give folks reassurance first, answers second, and nerdy codes third." So you're right. Not everyone needs the full error encyclopedia, but we shouldn't hide the facts either. Transparency and some plain English. Best of both worlds, if you ask me.
Thanks, both, for a fun debate. I've got a question for Chloe this time. Chloe, you've championed the beach ball for its friendly, non-threatening appearance and calming vibes, which I totally get. But do you think there's a risk that this gentler approach might mislead users into thinking everything's fine, or discourage them from taking troubleshooting steps early on? Have you ever felt frustrated by the beach ball because it didn't give you any sense of how serious, or not, things actually were? How would you improve on that metaphor to help people know when it's time to actually act?
Thanks for the thoughtful question, Priya. Love a good reality check, especially from someone living in the wild world of software testing. You're absolutely right. The beach ball's chill persona can definitely lull people into a false sense of maybe it'll fix itself if I just wait. I've absolutely had moments watching that spinning orb, trying to figure out if my MacBook is deep in thought or flatlining, where I started bargaining with the universe and autosave. It may be gentle, but sometimes you do wish it would break character and say, "Hey, something's actually wrong. Maybe back up your unsaved layers, girl." If I could improve the beach ball metaphor, I'd add some visual feedback. Think a color shift, timer, or even a tiny pop-up message like, "Hang tight, still working," or "Oops, this might take longer than usual." Maybe a soft sound cue, or for accessibility, something customizable for different needs. That way, people get soothing visuals without being totally in the dark. Friendly can still be honest. So yes, cute as it is, the beach ball could definitely be a bit more real with us. Balance, right? #16, closing regrets. Great question, Jordan. I totally agree. Sometimes waiting on that spinning beach ball is like being put on hold with elevator music, not knowing if anyone's ever coming back. While I love the calming approach, I do think there's room for improvement. Honestly, Macs could absolutely do more to let people know what's going on. Imagine if, alongside the beach ball, you got a gentle little message like, "Hey dear, this app might be stuck. You can wait a bit or force quit if you're in a hurry." That way, people wouldn't waste time hoping for a miracle or get blindsided when they really just need to restart. It's a balance. Nobody wants a panic-inducing wall of code, but a little more transparency would go a long way. Keep the zen, but add a side of useful info. That way, users can decide if it's time for another deep breath or time to hit Command-Option Escape and move on with their day.
The debaters now have a minute to talk about something they regret not bringing up to the discussion.
Ah, Priya, Chloe. Got to say, this has been more fun than watching a network printer misbehave at 4 p.m. on a Friday. You know, looking back, I do regret not bringing up one absolutely essential feature of the blue screen. It instantly clears the room, like nothing else. Back in my office days, if you wanted a bit of peace and quiet, just let the blue screen pop up. Everyone suddenly remembered a meeting elsewhere. It's the original productivity hack. As for Chloe, I have to hand it to you. Trying to sell the therapeutic value of a spinning beach ball is bold, but telling us it can heal a creative block might just be the most optimistic thing I've heard since someone said Windows Vista would change the world. If the beach ball actually solved creative droughts, I'd have an art gallery by now instead of a drawer full of crashed hard drives and unsafe work. #18, R_negative closing. You know, Jordan, thinking back, I regret never bringing up my favorite troubleshooting tool. Banging the side of the monitor and sternly whispering, "Don't you dare do this to me now." I feel like that universal fix-it method never gets enough respect in technical circles. And Melody, I gotta hand it to you, suggesting we all just take a stretch break while the spinning beach ball dances? That's a terrible argument, unless you're secretly working for a yoga studio's IT department. But hey, if stretching actually fixed crashed apps, my hamstrings would be indestructible by now.
Oh, Nigel, this debate's been more satisfying than decluttering my desktop on a Friday afternoon. Looking back, I regret not bringing up the true zen power of the spinning beach ball. It makes you step away from your screen, stretch, grab a snack, maybe even touch grass. Who needs productivity hacks when your Mac cheerfully forces you into mindfulness, right? As for your arguments, Nigel, I love your dedication, but calling the blue screen a straight-talking mate only works if your friend's idea of honesty is shouting gibberish at you during a crisis. If my IRL mates handed me strings of error codes every time I made a mistake, I'd start hanging out with houseplants. Some drama just belongs in the recycle bin. #19. Scoring. You know, I'm actually kicking myself for not mentioning my secret weapon, bribing my Mac with promises of a nice desktop wallpaper if it just behaves for one more project. Never underestimate the motivational power of a good sunset photo. Works wonders. Well, sometimes. And Reggie, I love your passion for error codes, but I have to say your Google exists for a reason argument might be my favorite terrible take of the night. If all it takes is a quick search, then why does half the internet still think turning things off and back on is the high-level wizardry? If troubleshooting were that simple, we'd be out of a job and the world would be run by grandmas. And honestly, maybe that wouldn't be half bad.
Thank you, folks. Let's go over to our judges.
Nigel scores 1. Clarity and logical structure. 9 out of 10. Nigel consistently presented structured, clearly articulated arguments. He gave specific historical examples, e.g., Bill Gates and the blue screen on stage, effectively explained the technical value of error codes, and organized his points in a logical fashion. Occasionally, highly technical references risk leaving less technical audience members behind, but overall clarity was excellent. 2. Engagement and rebuttal. 8.5 out of 10. Nigel displayed strong engagement with Chloe's arguments, frequently referencing her points with witty retorts, e.g., comparing the spinning beach ball to a barista handing herbal tea during a fire. He politely but firmly countered Chloe's optimism, and his responses addressed both the content and style of her positions. He lost slight marks for occasionally straying into light snark over constructive critique, but always kept things entertaining and on topic. 3. Audience connection and humor. 9.5 out of 10. Nigel's dry wit, references to IT culture, and tailored humor, like using the blue screen as an excuse for office solitude, were standout strengths. He adeptly weaved in jokes that made his arguments memorable and accessible, even to non-IT professionals. This humorous flair helped build rapport and kept the tone light, even during disagreements. Chloe's scores. 1. Persuasiveness and empathy. 9 out of 10. Chloe was highly persuasive by centering the user experience, repeatedly emphasizing the emotional impact and accessibility of error messages. Her points about the psychological toll of the blue screen and the merits of a calmer interface were delivered with both conviction and care, resonating particularly well with non-technical audience members. 2. Responsiveness and adaptability. 9.5 out of 10. Chloe thoughtfully answered both Nigel's counter-arguments and audience questions, acknowledging weaknesses of her own stance, e.g., the beach ball's ambiguity, and suggesting constructive solutions, e.g., visual feedback, accessibility tweaks. Her responses felt authentic and balanced. She wasn't afraid to poke fun at her own position, which made her arguments even stronger. 3. Creativity and relatability. 10 out of 10. Chloe's humorous analogies, comparing blue screens to overzealous car alarms or friends shouting error codes, playful self-awareness, and her use of creative metaphors, beach ball as mindfulness enforcer, were outstanding. She translated technical discussion into relatable, everyday terms, broadening her appeal and keeping the debate lively and inclusive. Overall, both debaters excelled in different areas. Nigel's technical clarity versus Chloe's empathetic flair and creativity. Excellent performances on both sides.
What are your opinions about the debate? What would you like to see ICE debate next? Keep questioning.